So today what we will start here from topic compiler design. We will start language processing system. Okay. So dear student, what happens in this world where we are living, everything moves around the program. Yes, so because whatever we think that is of software and that is made up of language. Clear? So when something language is concerned, we need something which will, because in the front end we the human being language and in the back is the machine language. So whatever language you will write, we will write the language what we can understand, and the language which will be understood by the human being, that is called as a high level language. What? That is called as a high level language. High level language, why it is called high level language? Because that language is very close to the human being, that is not close to the machine. Clear? Now, whatever language we are writing, that is user defined language, that cannot be understood by the machine. But we need to write the program for the machine. Then how the machine will understand? Clear? Suppose somewhere you are going, somebody speaking in Telugu. We cannot understand in a Telugu form. So what happens? We need a translator. So there the picture comes, that is called as a translator. So what is the job of the translator? Remember, translator is also a software. Clear? So what is the job of the translator? The translator will translate, transform, will convert one language to another language without losing its meaning. Clear? We will not be able to transform. We will transform. If it will change the meaning, then it is not the purpose of translator. Translator, what will it do? It will translate one form to another form without changing the meaning. That's what it is called as a translator. So what it will do? Translator will take, this is a translator. Translator is here. What it will take? Whatever language, high level language, we can call it as a source language. So that translator, what it will do? It will translate the source language to target language. It may be machine language. It may be 01 form language. It may be anything. It's not only the machine language. Please remove the concept of only the machine language. Machine language means it will transform high to low level language. Low level language, it can be your assembly language, it can be your different form of low level language as well. Don't think always it's a machine language, because that is a difference. Clear? So what it will do? It will convert your high level language to low level language. Clear? What it will transform? High level language to low level language. That low level language, it can be 01 form language, it can be assembly language, it can be relocatable machine code. Lot of things are there in the low level language. Clear? So what this translator, what it does? It transforms the language from one form to another form. Then why you are going for translator? Because your course you are having compiler. Compiler is one example of what? Right? So what is a compiler? First, compiler is a translator. Okay. I told you translator will convert one form to another form. Clear? So can I write it is a compiler? We are giving what compiler language you have already used. All of you are acquainted with C. See, after you are writing the program, what you have done? C the language, after you are writing the compiler, C program, what you are doing? We are doing compiling because what is the purpose of it? It will not translate directly. Compiler will never translate the high level to low level. Remember it. Compiler never converts a high level language to machine code directly. There are a number of stages. So what compiler will do? line is having syntax error, semicolon missing, yes or no? So that is the job of the compiler. Along with translation, what it shows the error. That error message which sentence is, that is another phase of compiler. There is a lexical basis. We will go like that. Clear? So that is your translator. Then what happens in the language processing system? There are logical systems. Whenever we are writing program, we are writing has include, has macros, has defined max 200. So there are a lot of constructs are there in the programming language. Then how it is not the job of the compiler? There are a lot of softwares are before you compiler. So that constitutes your language processing system. Clear? And your book is, that is your Ahaulman. Take from the library, Ahaulman book. That book is the best book I have ever heard from it. So that language processing system, what it does? First, we will go for language processing system. Yes, a very important first question will come from here. 100% question will come. Maybe it's sub question or it may be long question, that depends on the question set. Clear? So first page of your language processing system is your preprocessor. Have you heard of it? Preprocessor. Clear? And preprocessor input is your source program, source language. Book ray, some book it is written high level language. So there are different notation has been given by different authors. So don't confuse. So here whatever you are comfortable you can write. The input to the preprocessor. You know whenever you are writing the preprocessor, blank space is there. Comment line is there. They are not executable part of the program. Whenever you are writing the program, there are a lot of constructs are there which are not executed. Then how it will be removed from the program? Program will execute only the part which is the executable part of the program. Then which is not executable, what it does, how it will be removed? Who does it? That is the job of the preprocessor. So preprocessor, what is this? Suppose you have written has defined max 200. So in a program where max is written, the value will be considered as a 200. But who does it? Your comment line, that will be removed by the preprocessor. Has include stdio.h. So whatever library functions are there, that will be included in the program. Who does it? So whatever program we have written, preprocessor is not the translator, remember. Preprocessor is not the translator. What it is does, we have written a source language, it gives input to the preprocessor. What preprocessor does? Preprocessor modified the program. So the output will be modified, same, modified source language. Modified source language means there will be no macros, there will be all the library functions will be attached, everything will be controlled by the preprocessor. Okay. Some book it is written pure high level language. High level language if will give input, output will be pure high level language. And if you will give source language, the output will be modified source language. Clear? Now, after the program is modified, when the program is ready for execution, it will be giving input to the compiler. Clear? Understand? So first, as you are the masters, you are going to work somewhere, you need to understand directly program is not given to the compiler. First preprocessor will does it work, then after preprocessor removes everything, makes the program ready, it will be given to the compiler. Compiler is a translator. So preprocessor removes everything, all the comment line, what is the non-executable that has been removed by the preprocessor. Now it gives input to the compiler. Clear? Now the what will the output be? Now it will be given to the compiler. The compiler will generate what? I told you what is the output of compiler. Compiler, I told you the output is not the direct machine language. Machine language now it's the language will come. So we have given a modified language. Now the output will be given as a very important. This is your target assembly code or assembly language. That means you have already discussed, you know all of the assembly language. Add, sum, these are mnemonics. Move, add, store, load. These are the instructions which will be written in assembly language. Clear? The output, always remember 2 marks question 10. What is the output of compiler? Never write the output of the compiler is rulable language. Never. The output of the compiler is assembly code. Now another program generated assembly language. So again we need a translator because assembly language will not understood by the machine. Clear? Until unless we have generated the machine language, we need to translate. So first we have written the source language which will not understood by the machine. So that will be given to the compiler. Now compiler generates another output, that is assembly code. Clear? Now that assembly code will be giving input to the. So for assembly language another compiler will be there, that is called as your assembly language. The translator is in the compiler assembly language file. Just like what will be compiler assembly language file. Assembler. Are interested? Compiler, whatever source language we are writing, for that your compiler is coming. Now from the compiler we are generating. It's not the output is never machine language. Clear? Now what will be the output? Is the most important thing, machine relocatable code. How? Machine relocatable code. Machine relocatable code, suppose you are arranging your parallel path. So different students are placed that they are living in different locations. So at the time of function you need to gather in one place because in that place it will be executed. Yes or no? So whenever whatever compiler, assembler, whatever code they are generating, they are in different locations. Their starting address is not same. Now what will happen? So they are in different locations. Now what it will be done? Your relocatable means they are in different location. Then what it will do? We need to bring that to the location where it will be executed or not. Because all the instruction that has been created by compiler, assembler, that are in different locations. So what we need to do? We need to bring all the instruction to a place where it will be executed. So that's why it is known as a relocatable machine code. Clear? Now relocatable machine code, what it will do? Now this, they are in different locations. Now the part will come linker and loader. So what linker will do? Linker will link the different memory locations of different addresses. Clear? Okay, once the linker will link which is present, then what will do? Loader, what it will do? It will load it into the operating system. Then it will execute. Clear? So what happens? Your preprocessor removes all the things which will be not executable part. What are your library functions, file inclusions, whatever, that will be done by your preprocessor. Right? Now after preprocessor, the program is modified and it will be given to the compiler. Then the compiler will generate your assembly code. And assembly code, we need a translator that will understand only the assembly language. That's why we have your assembler. Clear? Assembler, what it will do? It will generate the code which are in different memory locations. So what is the function of linker and loader? They will link different locations, memory present information that are present in different locations. And loader, what will do? After linking, it will load it to the operating system. Then what will happen? Now space is not there. So what at the end what will happen? Your target machine code will be, it's a 0 and 1. Now source language, we are given high level language, the language where we understood, and the output is machine language 0 and 1 4. But within that there are different components which will work to convert your source language to machine code. The output of compiler is assembly language. Again we need an assembler which will convert it into machine code. Clear? Understood? Understood all of you? Now, will you write something? Programming language are the notations. Programming language are the notations that are used for describing the computation from human to machine. Programming language are the notations or the construct that is used to communicate between human to machine. The world we present depends on the programming language. The environment we present depends on the programming language. Before a program runs, it must be translated into a form. It must be translated into a form which a computer can understand and interpret. The software system that does this translation is called as translator. Compiler is one of the acceptable and usable translators. Let's write compiler. Right. Now compiler give input as source language, generates the output as target language. The target program, we are giving the input and we are getting the output. Good. A compiler, right? A compiler is a program that compiler is a translator or it is a program, it is software, whatever you write. Compiler is a translator or a software or a program, a set of instructions you can write that reads a program in one language called source language, and translate it into an equivalent program in another language called target language. An important feature of compiler is to report any error report any error present in the program. Report any error present in the source program. That it detects during the translation process. Clear? In the target program, if the target program is an executable machine program, if the target program is a machine executable program, then the user will provide set of inputs and it generates outputs. Another, so this part of your compiler. So compiler, we saw that it's a two-phase. But if we go for interpreter, it is another type of translator. Both purpose is same, but the function is different. What compiler does, it will compile all the programs at a time, but interpreter line by line. Clear? So compiler is a two-phase, but interpreter it is a one-phase. What will happen? At a time, we will provide the source program and input, and it will give us. Clear? As compared to compiler, interpreter error handling is better because it executes line by line and it gives error. Clear? So, but the difference is that compiler gives output as assembly code, and again the target code we have to give input and gives output. But interpreter, it will take the source code as well as the input and it gives us output. But both are translated. Some languages are compiler, C, C++, whatever you know. But nowadays the Python, these are coming as an interpreter. Clear? So, but both are same. Like your assembler, it is a translator. Compiler is translator. Interpreter is translator. So, all constitute your language processing system. Clear? Now, no. Very good. Any questions? You make a note on language processing system. Right? Explain. Question. This is an assignment question. Explain with a neat diagram. Explain with a neat diagram about language processing system. Second question. What is the difference between compiler and interpreter? What is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Third question. Short notes on preprocessor, compiler, interpreter, linker and loader. Linker and compiler, interpreter, assembler, linker and loader. So these are the assignments. Deposit on the next Saturday. Okay. Thank you so much.